Smoke and a flash. He's dropped the P250 to Simple. They've been doing a lot of that. You're going to hear me saying that throughout all these matches because most teams are buying the P250 on the T side. Zeus, Molotov, flash. Simple is going to be going through the Palace position, so he can take long-range duels and still stay within a lot of cover there. JKS under the balcony, ready to receive. This is going to be quite quick on the A side.
Smoke that bounced way off the mark. Doesn't cover the top of connector at all. So the CTs will have full vision looking back in. That's not even a shutdown locations. Zeus gets the first kill finally for Navi. JKS, though, can swing back around. He's forced back inside of hiding, and Simple hasn't gotten anything going from Palace yet either. Still have the bomb. They could retreat on this. It's 4 versus 2 directly in the A site. Make it 1. Not the best pistol, I have to say, from Navi. Ooh, little BM firing at the body.
Oh, they are booing. Maybe they don't like bad manners regardless, or irregardless, Matt.
I wonder if they'd like it if it was for... yeah, there you go. I wonder if they'd like it if it was for Navi, though.
Yeah, that's curious. Maybe we could wait and see if anything happens. But obviously, after being blown out of the server there, Renegades want to try and get any little mental edge that they possibly can. It's a really good round, but now that stat line comes back in. They won the pistol round. Can they convert? Can they keep that respectable as 3 Deagles? And once again, it is Zeus who's dropped them over. I want to point that out again. Zeus has dropped these Deagles to Electronic and Flamey again.
So now it'll be 3
Will it be 3 out of 3 if this happens again, right?
So I will say that... All right, dude. What are you doing?
Well,
I thought Anders ran the simulation. Simple does this time. Gratisfaction down the window. Oh, my God.
It's the reverse order. Simple got the first one last time. Electronic got the follow-up, but it doesn't even matter which order the frags come in. Zeus, the name of a god, dropping Deagles to his disciples.
I like that.
Allows him to do his bidding.
Well, Az has at least pulled one back. They'll have to be careful because bomb is dropped as JKS gets a kill, but again the Deagles, and again Electronic finding kills in return. Az just needs to babysit bomb at this point in time. I was going to say, at the end of that round when they were shooting the dead body, that was Simple's body. If I'm Simple, I'm going to smile and be like, bring it. You want to try and tick me off? I'm ready. Showed with the Deagle, but this time he does go down as again, trying to fire from range. Electronic has to switch guns, has to switch to the reload. He's got nothing left to fight with because he's fought so valiantly already, and it's down to just Edward in a 1-on-2. 32 seconds, P250. Low enough HP on Azza, but the AUG for JKS might be enough.
Yeah, with the time trickling on down in its position, unless he finds these frags while Renegades are looking the wrong way, this round should be done. He might have a chance. There is a window here. There's one.
Oh, he almost didn't, but that's exactly the problem. So even though Azza was low enough, AUG range, watching the bomb, no utility to really take that position away from him. Would have been interesting to see if he had gone CT and got the AUG in his hands. Then we might have had a case.
So now just have a look right now, because Navi are going to be able to buy in, but you can see the money situation for Zeus. He only has 2,500 left. So everybody else on Navi will be able to buy into AKs because he dropped in the Deagles to make that round really competitive. So this is just another take on Navi continuing to apply pressure on the economy. So Renegades, with only 1 surviving, have to reinvest on 4 players. Navi were going to invest again anyway, and the only omission is Zeus on the UMP, who applies himself in a more supportive role anyway. He's gone underpass, so the range of that isn't necessarily needed at this point. He's quite quick about this. So it is Liaz anchoring down towards B. We've got Electronic, who loves to put pressure on this position by himself individually. Simple on the other extremity of the map of the Palace, but he can do the same at any given point. And this flushes out the utility from Liaz very quickly, so if they ever want to go back and apply pressure here, they'll have an easier access. And what that also does is it forces Azad, the catwalk player, to help to stay closer because Liaz doesn't have any utility to defend with. Right now, we have JKS anchoring in towards the site. Jacob playing in transition between jungle and connector, and Gratisfaction over towards window. Fact-finding mission so far of Navi's default. It's not enough to take a bunch of utility. Right now, they're working into connector, Electronic, and Zeus. Simple can come out of Palace. Flamey can come up A-ramp with Edward now in tow, who's grouped on in. They have 1 smoke, probably over towards that CT spawn position or jungle, and a flash. But there we go. Jacob gets the better of Zeus. He has to find Electronic as well. Pressure is about to be applied.
Jacob peeks, realizes the AK's firing him because he's about to be blind again if he's not careful. That should yield a kill in his favor. It does. And JKS on the site is going to be a problem for them. He's been very solid this event, and a great position for him to play, more so if his teammates continue to be so successful in winning the duels on the extremities. Flamey is desperate to walk in. He's afraid nowhere to go but toward JKS, and he's up to it. 3-0. Aside from a few Deagle kills and a bit of banter, there's not been much to cheer about for this very Navi-sided crowd.
Yeah, and just to note, on a key gun round right there, Jacob and JKS, the two highest rated players for Renegades thus far in the tournament, both finding a significant amount of impact. So that's something to look forward to, because there was a tweet that I read out yesterday talking about JKS with sub-1 ratings and the team very rarely converting games if he's not performing. So a lot of pressure on his shoulders now, but a veteran of the squad, he should be able to step up to the task when needed. Crowd will find the opening kill onto Electronic, and this was a light upgrade right now from Na'Vi. They still have the scout.
Simple with the headshot.
Tagged him as well.
Jacob, though. You're right, tagged him, but unfortunately, we're going to go down. Bomb is left inside of the B apartments. He can't go back.
If Zeus
He's got
wins
an
this,
AK. You think so?
mate, I know Vince said he'd eat a boot, but bloody hell, this would be almost impossible.
I'm still waiting for him to eat a damn boot.
I think he did a bunch of other forfeits, and I was going to say if Zeus wins this, it was more than a miracle at this point.
Well, the problem is now, even though they're low, they know where he is, and they can start to surround him. Nade even to put him on 10. He's now lower than they are in return, and he's Molotov'd off. Nowhere to go. They're all three, in fact, in that same position now. If he knew that, he would get the heck out of there, maybe just try and save the AK, try and book it. Obviously, he expects that someone's trying to pinch him in, so he's not done that as of yet.
He might just want to find kills, isolate a 1v1 duel, and continue to keep the economy low, but they're not offering himself up.
Spammable door. Do you know that, by the way? You should know that.
It's an underpass?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's super, super rare I even see people attempt it, let alone do damage.
Oh, he's collected a Molotov.
That's
Foraging.
Enough. That's enough. Let's go.
But he just wants kills. You can see that, he's not in a rush just to run in and die. He wants to see if anybody is going to rear their ugly head for him to take down, because it is very important at this stage to take away guns from Renegades. He will die before the time. He's not silly enough to not give himself the loss bonus, but just seeing what he can do. Eventually, Grat will find him, and 3 players from Renegades survive, which is very important for their side of things, because the economy isn't completely stabilized right now. Even though they do have 4 in a row, there have been some nail-biters around. JKS having to win that one-on-one situation against Edward. They had 4 survive when they had the Orgs up, but still that was a heavy investment. Lost 2 guns there. They brought back in. There will be a pause for a tactical purpose here for Na'Vi to talk through their next approach. So there is 2 sides to this coin of Na'Vi playing warmed up. Because the first game, yeah, sure, they looked really hot. But if this stalls out, if this becomes long and Renegades win this,
yeah, that's right. The
they run out
attrition
of steam.
Yeah. Whoa!
What did that say?
He just ripped up a Renegades poster.
Really? Oh.
That's the reverse banter. Shoot Simple's body, I'll rip up your logo.
Well, I had a Renegades fan just come to me and say that he apologizes for what the crowd yesterday with the jeering and the shouting of other positions, and that there's still Renegades fans here in the house. So,
well, there you go.
Maybe they're doing it for show.
Maybe they're deciding to learn how crowds banter.
Yeah.
Yesterday they took on their own approach. Today they're taking on the Brazilian approach. Maybe tomorrow they'll take on the Polish approach. Maybe the UK approach?
So they need to get a few more beers in
I was
here,
going to say, I don't know if there's enough alcohol. That's also like the Sydney approach.
So Hazard took a lot of damage there to that connector mold. Look at Electronic. So this applies so much pressure. The duel between him and Liaz is going to be one to watch for the entirety of this game, with him playing through this position. The rest of the teammates for Na'Vi are now getting on over to his position, and they want to set up and execute on towards this B site. But you can see how much utility Liaz has dropped. He's already used everything besides a flash. So when the execute comes in, no Molotov slow them, no smoke either.
Jacob doubling up. Electronic and Zeus both down. He can push the smoke, but he'll sit inside of it. Why not, little Houdini? Simple has to pull it all back. No kills yet. No rounds yet. There's one. A kill, not a round, but it might lead to one because Simple's got the second on Liaz, using Edward as a bit of a bait, and it puts him down to 2 HP, but Simple's now boosted on the box.
Seen him.
This shows the headshot off, and Simple has seen him. He's tagged, though. That puts him down to 8. That's actually a huge situation because a nade alone will get him, and they've got the flank. If he didn't take as much damage, he's still in this round, and you have a very different situation. I think the flank would have won it no matter what from Azza. Man, oh man, Simple tried. 3 kills for him, 5-0 Renegades.
I just watched that and I just see every single piece of Renegades falling apart there, and Simple just standing up once more. Every time it seems possible. I'm in disbelief because it shouldn't be, but he seems to make these rounds competitive.
I'll say it. This is more than Kenny S pre-op nerf. This is more than Orloff in the peak of his powers. This is more than Nico and Cold. Device has a certain sense of team play that I think is still very high, but Simple's so far above everybody else right now. I think he's the best of CSGO of all time. This is the highest peak we've ever seen.
Would you say he's the Astralis of individuals?
Come on, man.
All right, well.
I'll say he's the Wayne Gretzky. In fact, I may even go as far as to say he's the Fernando Alonso. He might not be that good, but he's close.
Oh, that's some praise right there from Mr. Matthew Trivet. Let's spell that. M-A.
All right, Trace.
So, just to look at what facilitated Renegades having a lot of bodies on that B bomb site in the previous round was they did the mid control with the deep smoke and Molotov early, right? They threw the one from spawn, they had the Molotov in front, and they had control. So that meant that they knew that it wasn't going to necessarily be a play through middle. It was going to be either bomb site off the bat, and once again, it's going to be a site hit. This time, Navi going into A.
Jacob successful back through the box. Simple had that perfectly lined up. JKS does step out, though, and again, they have to confront him on the site. Another 3 kills for him. How are they going to take A if they let him play Shadow and Triple so effectively? A 4th, Simple gone. JKS is an absolute master on the A site.
Feeling more in their comfort zone now with Renegades. They've bounced back.
I'm thinking you've got to win mid and get a player in window. I think that's the only way you're going to get JKS out of position.
Right now, JKS has 11 kills to his name. He's stepping up big time. Jacob, the sidekick throughout this tournament.
It's not just 11 kills, it's 11-0.
Yeah, he's immortal right now. Flamey yet to find a kill on the other side of things, 0-0-6. All right, so it will be the AKs back on out. Trying to play towards middle. Electronic Zeus through the B holes. This is more of the same. This time it will be Flamey over towards Palace, and Simple's actually going to go, I suppose, towards middle with Edward here. They might do a late mid take. It looks like they want to play 2 through the underpass, 2 through top mid. Gratisfaction with the AWP. He might, yeah, he spotted it, so he knows that Edward's across towards that mid box, which means it's difficult for him to go for a re-peek. That smoke just played, it allows Jacob to use it as a one-way to cover off towards lower. So he can re-pick just like that, and Simple gets taken out of the equation with a flash assist from Azza. Gratisfaction finds a second, and now they're doing a fantastic job of poking and prodding and making life really difficult for NAVI.
Call a timeout. This isn't going well. They get 1 kill back with a bit of luck because Gratisfaction misses the shot. It's pretty much on a platter for Electronic at that point. Molotov down in the window. Azza closes Electronic down. Jacob's got Edward. Flamey's the last alive. 1-on-3 gone already from Azza. Great play on Mirage from Renegades. Certainly showing that they are more versed on the map.
Jump.
Did it matter?
Well, they need the AWP.
Oh, that's right. The AWP was in there. You're right.
Grat can still buy one, or Azza can drop one. I think Azza will probably drop one over because Grat doesn't have enough to buy head. Yeah, there you go. So being a good...
Still costs them $47.50.
Yeah, it's something.
Or I guess we should say it costs them like $2 grand, right? Because they're going to buy a rifle instead of the AWP.
So they've got all the goodies they need, and it will be the pause. This is the second pause thus far for Navi in this first half.
And it has to be something...
You think more direct, quicker?
Thank you. I was going to say something simple. It could be Olaf style simple, just run out and kill everyone. But it needs to be something quicker, but also to take a part of the map that they can exploit.
Yeah.
And that's why I said maybe you try and get them in window, maybe you try and get behind the CTs, try and get JKS moving. If you can get a wrap through CT, I mean, they're just not getting anywhere. They're getting stonewalled everywhere they go.
Yeah, we talked about how strong Renegade CT side can be. Them on our screen. Oh, you can see it too. That's Gomez sitting in the front row there.
The one leaning forward with his knees on his lap.
Intently watching. We'll get underway again as Flamey and Electronic will both have AKs in hand. Simple CZ75, Deagle for Zeus, Edward with CZ as well. And there's going to be another direct approach towards A through Palace this time. Gratisfaction finds the first. JKS in the same position. So much damage is done early. JKS can go for the mop again here from this position. Doesn't get it done. He got swarmed on this time.
Simple. Pistol from range. Does actually manage to collect on Jacob, but not, unfortunately, able to deal enough damage with that gun to do anything more about it. Now, they've saved this particular round with the max loss bonus now at 8, so they're going to have that for a while, and they do it for a very obvious reason. 54-50 for Simple.
Yeah, so the bank is built up now for them, right? Now, you can see the scores right here on the screen. One for Flamey.
Do you know what I've just realized?
Yeah. No plants.
8-0 and not a single bomb plant.
With the default that Navi run, it is very dependent on finding those kills towards middle and then doing exactly like you're saying, being able to play the CTs in transition. But the bomb site lockdowns have been there. Renegades have had a good flow and pace to the game right here. And Gratisfaction up and over. He's going to jump. He'll be... I was going to say, able to exploit the gap in the smoke, but there won't be one this time round. Edward will get across the mid box, and Gratisfaction, Jacob, and Az are all leaning towards that part of the map.
Oh, there you go. That's the one time they've caught JKS out.
Yeah.
Gets caught in between the two boxes.
Walk onto the side here. And they will rally on through, but right now they're just posturing and waiting for the cavalry to arrive. Another big gap in the smoke.
Yeah, Jacob's going to love this. They missed it in the pistol. They missed it by a mile this time. Shots out. Flash will do. That gets him off the angle, but Az is taking over where JKS left off. Couldn't spray it through. Zeus able to get the kill back in return. Man advantage, therefore, stays with Navi. Minutes on the clock, and Zeus. Now that they have the A site, they start to use it, but he's traded back. Lias comes in from CT. That tells them where one is. Where's the other? Flank being watched by Edward. Simple's the one with the bomb. He's got the op. Lias gets to triple. If Simple misses another shot and there's no one else to counter peek, he's going to have a problem. That's the second time he's hit someone through that box. Didn't do a ton of damage, though. Did it down to 51.
Lias is in trouble.
He knows that. They're trying to find connector. Edwards got Lias down. That's exactly what they wanted. That's also through the box. Gratisfaction stays alive for a while, but Simple shuts it down. He'll grab the op and resume duties at 8-1.
That no-scope was very close to landing just there. You saw it hit the edge of the stair. But Lias in that position with no grenades, no way really out of that. He had to hope that they made a mistake, but they just kept his position locked. Took him out of the round. Not sure what that is.
Me neither. I would like to know.
It's a whole cultural thing that we're missing out on here. I feel like
that's it. We've got to download some like Rosetta Stone.
This round here is really important. Look at the money left for Renegades, right? They've just lost, so they've gone down to the $1,400 loss bonus. They don't have enough money in the bank to buy again in the next round. They're only going to get $1,900. So for Renegades right now, if they lose this one, this is the new money reset. The new money hard reset. We'll still work on the terminology. We're still workshopping it.
New reset kind of works. I said positive reset.
Yeah, that's true.
But that makes it sound like a good thing.
Yeah.
I was meaning the team that's in the lead. But what it does mean is that Renegades could easily give back a chance for Navi to get into the game.
And we've got a three-man lean over towards the A side with Azza playing in limbo. Gratisfaction has the AWP over towards B. It is a slow approach through middle right now for Navi as they want to take control. They have two players through underpass. So there's going to be a lot of pressure applied to this connector position.
Lias is the one that's there. Az is still in the window as well. They want to get in. He's going to play the outside balcony. That's a problem. He's firing in. He got it. Az was waiting for the smoke to dissolve, thinking he could stay there silently. Didn't quite get the location back. I thought he might counter spray. He tried to be patient instead and act like he wasn't there at all, but it did lead to his death. In the end, Lias now has to hold topside of connector. Zeus gets him. Now they've got problems because JKS, he hasn't had to worry about his backside. He hasn't had to hold off reverse from the site, but the time that he does, he's got Jacob there. Now the shots are landing for Navi, and you are right. This could be the positive reset, the winner's reset. All of that sounds too bright and cheery. Positive reset, that's what I'm going to call it. So the winning side is about to get reset. JKS, he still finds it. He still finds ways to win. He still finds ways to control the A site. How does he turn that around? 3 kills late, and it's because Jacob was there. They never found him. They never lost him.
Just to note, the Gratisfaction was going through kitchen, but he's circled all the way back around. There's no defuse kit in play. They have to be quick here. Grat coming through connector. That was a must-make kill.
He got a dink, though. Edwards down to 4. That'll still help JKS. Flamey's going to get smoked off. He'll have to peek. JKS elects not to pick up the AWP and go for the one-hit wonder onto the man above him. He's got to swing wide, but Flamey's already on top of it.
Almost made that interesting there. If Gratisfaction had made the kill, then that round becomes more than possible. They could isolate Flamey's position. That smoke grenade from JKS might have trickled somewhere different in that situation. But right now, Renegades, money in the bin. Squelching around at the bottom of the bag. There's nothing worse than bin juice on a Monday morning as you run out, as you box your shorts as the garbage truck is driving off. And Renegades are feeling that right now. P250 for Lias. Flashbang for JKS to try and make some magic happen. He's going to flash towards middle here, and they're going to try and go for a pounce 3 towards connector. And Azza might actually come late through short here. So when the feeling's right, the flash will come over, and they're going to see if they can find some kills. But it has a timer on it, because if they allow the underpass players to get too close, they're walking out. They don't want to do it with a flash. They're just going to walk on up. The flash might come over the top as they start to duel. This could be interesting.
Fast Eddie. Got to be exactly that behind the box, and he is. He gets 2. Elect gets 1. So JKS, the only 2 left alive, and JKS gets punished by a nade. He looks like an annoyed, like, older cousin right now.
Who, Justin?
Yeah, his facial expression. It's like, man, stop picking on me, little dude.
He smiled at me at breakfast today.
Oh.
Doesn't usually happen.
Did you blush?
No. We both, he walked past the counter and someone working said something that sounded like Justin. So we both laughed at the fact that he turned thinking that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Simple moments.
Yeah, it's the little things in life, right? This round should be over and done with, and I think what we have to do is we have to look at what Renegades have done in the previous to make things work so swimmingly for themselves. They might go back to that fast or that heavy mid approach, right, with the top mid smoke to Molotov to land to deny, but Navi could then just go for an execute straight off the bat. So this one here is the real mental games for Renegades because they've come into a round now. They were sitting pretty for a very long time, right? They had everything they needed. They had the AWPs. They had all the goodies, all the go gear. They're able to re-peak, find some kills, have some confidence. Right now, the confidence of the Molotovs, the nades, the AWPs, the defuse kits, all of that is gone. They need to win a scrappy round. And they've definitely won quite a few of those throughout StarSeries Season 7 Swiss stages. And we're going to get underway here. The top mid smoke actually hasn't come into play. Oh, yes, it has. It just trickled late, and it's a bad one. It's a missed throw.
The Molotov on the backside of it, though, is interesting because even though it missed, it still covers off anyone pushing through, and it still allows you to get to the top of mid without anyone peeking the corner, so it gives you some conceal.
I'm not sure if they're doing it intentionally to try and lure players into it later or if it is actually a mistake, because the way that it's meant to be done, that is meant to be 95% covered off. There's still going to be a slight gap.
Yeah, and it's just the foresight of throwing the Molotov that makes me think that maybe it's like, oh, that's just how we throw it faster. I'd have to look at the lineup.
Yeah, that could be the case too. They could throw it even differently as well as they're jumping out a window.
Good spray down from Lias, goes out late. It's going to give them the opener. Yeah, because the set way to throw it, there's two. There's one from over by CT spawn, which usually an A player throws it and who's not going.
Yeah.
The other two just rush. The other way is to throw it from the backside of the vents, which actually is really hard because you rely on like a bounce on an angle. That there's one step that's kind of on an angle itself, and it bounces like 3 times. It's really awkward.
Yeah, if you miss it as well and you land it on the garbage bags that are actually towards top mid, you can completely fluff it and then it's worth nothing. But right now, you need to look at Renegades who have gone for a lean over towards the B-bomb side. They've absconded a lot of the mid control that they had. It's 30 seconds left on the clock, and it will be an A play. Zeus is going to come late through connector, but the real action is going to be simple coming out of Palace and how well JKS can do dueling. Now, we've seen him in the majority of occasions come out in a successful position, but this time round, it means a lot more.
Grat swinging out again, unaware that Zeus was so deep. Got taken down by him. JKS, though, is again back behind that box. Find a Molotov for that position because JKS owns it. Oh. Simple just owns them all. Leah's down. He's got one before that, and bomb planted. Jacob in a 1-on-2. Simple staying close on triple. Bigs it, got it. No mistake about it. Hat trick for him, and 4 now for Navi.
Easy as you like there. Navi are really punishing Renegades here, who, with 4 in a row, don't have the max loss. If this goes from 8-0 to 8-7...
That kind of speaks about the new system.
Well, look, it's the doomsday scenario, right? Because it's the merging of the old and the new. It's the fact that the 1400 still exists in the game. It's the fact that the CTs, the Molotov, is more expensive. It's the fact that the defuse kit is in play for 400. You've got to buy a rifle that costs more regardless of whether you get the AUG or the M4. Utility is much more important to stop the Ts. They can do more creative things. So there's so many reasons as to why the 1400 is still going to mean that double ecos are in play.
I like that smoke on the ledge. They try and spray into it. They know where it was thrown from. Zeus still down below. Flames in front of him. He'll just kind of flirt with the idea of someone inside a window. Stacked for the pistols, which is over toward A. They're taking their time. Don't mind it at all. Still a minute to play, and they'll just clear out the angles and make sure they're safe. But based on the positioning and the stack on the A side, I would suggest we've got our conclusion on this one already.
Navi are doing a really good job of being able to at least juke Renegades. Like, they never seem to be in the right place at the right time to at least have these rounds being competitive. If you have the pistols and they just go to the other side, well, then you kind of feel hopeless. And going for exits in this situation when you know you're going to buy in the following, and Navi have built a established bank on Simple, Flamey, Edward. I can make a case for as well. If he needed a loan, I wouldn't be too opposed.
Andalia's all 5 alive again for NAVI. Bit of heckling going on in the downtime in this round. We're not all that different. We're all from different places and different cultures, but we're all the same at the bottom of it, aren't we?
Alrighty. This is where...
We all have Counter-Strike is the bottom line.
Yeah, that's where I figured you were going with it.
I was trying to be like a broader sense of humanity, but I'll just bring it back to something we all know
I was
and
just going
relate
to talk about tribalism and the fact that we all need to be feeling a part of something.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. This is it. I suppose this is the do or die for Renegades here with only 2 rounds left. They're only going to get the max loss bonus in the following if they lose this one, which isn't enough for the CTs to be able to buy. And the fact that they bankrupt themselves in this one to go all in means so much pressure on them to get it done. And Grado finds an opening, has a chance at a second, and can Houdini his way through that smoke that's been dropped over towards Connector. So he's out of dodge, and he has found the opening pick and only taken a little bit of damage right.
Wow, Simple knew exactly what he was up to. He was waiting for that even song go back up. Smoke, JKS. This time in a whole different position. Excuse me, that was Jacob we switched to, so he is still back towards CT. He's already rotating as well.
It's important that Jacob's pushing right now because he gets a lot of information on how Renegades can play in this mid-round. They boosted Azza up on the on the short box right here that we can see. He can see Connector and make sure that nobody can push. They can still boost Window, so JKS needs to be wary of that.
Cool, man. Cool. 3 HP. You're in spawn. You're getting flanked. You switch to a USB and you just hit a headshot. No problem. Okay. Yeah, I'm down.
I don't know what to say anymore.
And now he has the op toward Horseshoe again. He can just hold top side of middle.
I'm lost for words.
Zeus has to step up again, though, this round, and Azza is above him. I think he's going to go down because he's looking towards Connector, back showing Azza makes no mistake on the shot. Simple needs an ace on 3 HP.
Okay, yeah, so this is possible.
I don't rule
yeah,
it out.
Yeah, this one's possible right now.
He's got 1 HP for the first 2 and then just kills the 3rd. That's fine.
Okay, so JKS being in the Palace position, if Simple decides to go to A, he's not going to be able to clear him out. He has to tap the bomb, and then JKS will just pick. Liao's on the side, 20 seconds left. Maybe Simple will just go for a save call. It's not necessary. It doesn't really matter at all.
Don't make any noise.
Oh, he's trying to use the crowd right now. So
he's trying to flirt, figure out where it is, and he'll get Azza, who dropped down to see if he was there, so HP not a factor.
Azza didn't need to do that.
Nope.
They didn't need to get that kill because Navi were always going to be buying in this round, right? So that feels like a bit of a waste of life right there from the in-game leader of Renegades, who's maybe just wanted to get a kill on the board, but it doesn't add anything to the team actually now. It detracts because Gratisfaction has a scout. They've managed to get 4 rifles up, 2 AUGs, 2 M4s. Azza has no utility. He was the player that just died. They do have 4 defuse kits across the board, and now it seems like Navi want to go for a direct A approach with a lot of nades, faking them out, trying to bait out whatever utility they have, forcing them to be very smoke molly defense heavy. Jacob still has a smoke and a HE. JKS over towards the ticket booth position, just has to hold. They threw the mid nades as well. That's just to keep Gratisfaction on his toes. Leon's over towards the van, over towards Cat, and now they can reinitiate on this A bomb site.
Oh, the nades.
They just really threw flashes, you see, and then they've gone back and rebought the flashes. So Navi went through a heap of flashes at A to bait out the nades from Renegades, and then they've gone back to spawn and rebought into the flashes because we can see that they still have full utility at this point.
Yeah, that is interesting. JKS. They threw the ones they carried over, because remember, you can only buy 4 around them now. Doesn't matter if they threw them or not. They haven't done anything to distill this A defense, which has come back with vengeance since the guns have been drawn back out.
The duo, though.
That was pretty straightforward. You're right. Electronic is also in this. Trying to find JKS. They know he plays the backside of the box. If they had a Molotov, they could really force JKS to be uncomfortable, but 2 of them there. This time, nice little lob.
Oh my god.
Great nade. Perfectly positioned in the gap. Simple knows that they want to peek out from top stairs, but they peek all at once, and there's nowhere to hide. 10-5, Renegades great half. And you said it, if this goes long, how much steam does Navi really have left?
And especially if they lose some low-buy rounds to Renegades, if they lose those tilt rounds. We know that Navi are a team who definitely, they get vocal at one another, but in what could potentially be 6 maps for them in one day, things might become a little bit problematic. And we have kind of returned to normality in a way, Matt. We have Simple leading the way on 17 frags. The next closest on his team was Edward with 8. So quite the disparity there. But it was a 5-round spree towards the tail end of that second half. Renegades did good to stabilize because it was looking like it could have been an 8-7. A 10-5, even though they did lose that patch of rounds, is still a good thing. And if they can get pistol, we know how good they are at converting. We know how good Navi at breaking it. So that round is almost as exciting as the pistol round, as a gun round at this point. So this matchup, quite tantalizing. We should be getting back underway momentarily as we get some crowd reactions of a couple of players. Oh, they're cheering for him drinking.
No one cheers when I drink anymore.
I wonder if I could just get a bunch of people to follow me around so they could cheer for every little thing I do.
You could probably pay them to do that. I'm thinking, yeah, you definitely could.
How much do you think I got to pay him per person?
Depends on the currency. Depends on the hours. Depends on how loud, probably in decibels. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you there, Chad. Let me reach
Look,
out.
I'll make some phone calls. We'll see what happens.
I was going to say, I'll reach out to my people and get back to you.
5 sets of Kevlar and NAVI right now. Grenades are plenty for Renegades. Gratisfaction and Liaz. They're going to be throwing the wall smoke. Let me tell you how this pistol round's probably going to play out here. JKS and Jake are probably going to put a bit of pressure on B. They're going to go back. The wall smoke's going to be, oh, it's just a complete fake. It isn't what I thought it was going to be at all. I thought they were going to come late underpass, but this is a double fake. They've shown the bomb on A to pull the full rotation. And now they're going to lurk out onto B with JKS and Jake. And Liaz is going all the way back over towards B2. It's a free bomb site right now.
Yep. Renegades might get back-to-back pistols in this game. Both times massively. This massive issues, I should say, for Navi. Simple's got it back. JKS down. Bomb not yet planted. Maybe I've spoken too soon. They do lose one more. Zeus drops to Jake, but Electronic finds him. Remember the first pistol, it was a catastrophe. Massive miss smoke, and everyone just got shut down going into toward A. They almost gifted this one to Renegades, but they didn't act on it. They didn't act quick enough, and they know it wasn't toward A. They rotated back over. JKS only got one, and now look at it fall apart. Bomb down. Simple with the kill. As it falls next, and Navi recover to find the 6th.
Well, the pistol round worked perfectly. The problem was Renegades worked not too slowly because you want to take the bomb to shot at the A ramp, but JKS fluffing initially meant that it was a little bit harder for them to stabilize in that position. And then from there, just some nice, crisp, clean shots as Navi post the second round on the board. Second round? The pistol round. The second pistol round. Renegades just going to flash and try and do the waterfall out of Palace here. Lying in wait over towards spawn will be Electronic, and coming in from the connector and stairs position will be Simple and Edward. And they should just pluck them out of the air. Simple with 2.
Jumping as well from Eddie.
Okay, hold up. It's expensive.
I don't know why I've called him Eddie this week, but I just have. I
Edward
like it.
Scissorhands.
Ooh, okay. If he gets a knife, that would be a great reference. I want to inform everyone that Pimp has actually stopped talking, and he's become now the janitor.
Yeah, and he's brought us coffee, and he's cleaned up the desk.
He's giving me a death stare right now. He's like, man, I'm trying to do something nice for you guys, and
but
you're
it was,
wrecking me.
we're paying him
is
live.
Very nice.
Well, it's live appreciation to the world.
It is. What a bro. Brings us the coffee, cleans our desk. Like, great. I'm down.
If you get my KdTV to work, then he'd be the real magician right now. But Renegade's going to buy on in here. They were able to do a little bit of damage with Jacob's P250. Well, not going to be able to hold on to mid-control Navi at all, and Renegade's going to push through that Molotov. This is a reaction that they actually used against Astralis at the Majors, so they've got that one in their back pocket. Renegades get control. Azza is the man to find it, but he's taking a lot of damage to the Molotov, and now Zeus, they've heard it.
Absolutely. They heard that nade hit him, and they know that they can strike. He actually gets one still on the MP9, though, and that gives a little bit of time for the rotation, but more importantly, Simple can reverse backwards. No one on Catwalk, and exactly that. Find them as they drop in. It's such a powerful position. He's actually going to back off that Molotov. It forces him into the open, but he's comfortable there. He's got a teammate. They've got the bomb. That's been dropped down by the van. Azza late, though. Simple just cleared this, remember. Oh, did he see him? No, he didn't. Azza can potentially open it up, but not with Simple alive still. 2 kills. And again, he lost 2 HP on those 2 kills. So remember when he had 3 HP, it was possible.
Yeah, it was
That's
possible.
what I was saying.
Yeah.
You know?
So Renegades now have a big decision to make.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means. It did sound aggressive.
It did. It had a bit of a tone to
Very
it. Very
throaty.
Might have to sit that one out for a minute, bud. That's timeout for you.
Yeah.
Simple as 23
Everyone
kills.
went quiet as well, so nobody cheered for whatever he just said. So, alrighty, well.
Maybe he's very important.
Maybe.
Strat tagged up, 81, 79.
See that smoke there? That's more like how it should be thrown as opposed to the way that Renegades were doing it. And now Simple can just loiter around middle. Normally, people don't like loitering, but I'll allow it because it is the god. Screw the term, you know, GOAT. I know that means for greatest of all time, but Simple is just something else.
Yeah, absolutely. Edward peeks. Simple's there as well to back it up. He didn't want to overcommit and step out in case there was a spray. He was actually waiting above to drop down after Edward perished. So Flamey just waits in ladder room. Great position to have still, but this is it. Oh, we got it. This is it, Jacob. This is what I wanted to see more from NAVI. He's actually got by them all. He is through the window. He is all the way around.
How does he kill the player up in apps, though?
That's a tough one to find. He can't even see him.
Oh, he gets it now for free.
Yeah, done. Done.
But he needs to get the gun.
He's got it. It was dropped toward him. That's impressive that they had that much to work with. Jacob is just opening this round up himself, and he gets yet more. It's going to be Simple and Electronic, but at least one of them has a flank. That's Simple. Electronic knows he has to work inside of checkers. That's where Jacob started to go. He could find an ace on this because he's got Simple down. Electronic in front of him, and he's got all 5 started out with just a CZ, and he got map control. He got through the window.
And now he's up to 21 kills of his own.
That was just before Edward peeked out and killed the man who boosted him. Thankfully, he was already out of sight at that point because they thought it was clear.
That's a matter of inches right there. That is one of those tilt rounds that I could be talking about with NAVI because they're going to be a bit flustered with communication. How was that even possible? And then even though it was possible, how do we lose to that regardless? 1 man, 5 kills, some upgraded pistols, and now they forced NAVI down to a low buy. Could that be it? We saw a swing round in the earlier game in the day where Simple went absolutely mental. Well, Jacob's done something maybe not as stylish, but definitely as important in the context of this game.
Good shot. Simple, the one he finds, and the way he's playing, the one you would want to, as Jacob finds a 6th kill with that AUG now. Flamey wants to peek. Nicely done. He's got an AUG picked up, spotted the re-peek potential, but it was up from above, and he was so focused on that, JKS just slides out undetected.
Still possibility for damage here, because Electronic holds that AUG. Azza is playing in rotation right now. If he gets caught, it becomes a 3v2 situation. There's no defuse kit. The bomb will eventually go down. Edward is on the potential for a very late flank, but very late being key here. It might just be the save call, and Edward wants to see if he can find one of the guns that was dropped earlier. He should be able to do that. Not too difficult for him. If Azza kills Edward, which he does, now Electronic has the jump on him. Azza will not be expecting this position, but Electronic stays still.
There's not, aside from breaking down the economy, there's not much Electronic has to gain. He's already got an AUG, he's already got head armor, he's got utility. So you could argue that it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other in some ways. But Renegades make this now 12-8. See, they understood my reference. 6 of one, half dozen, that was funny to them.
Yeah.
Clearly something else happened.
Maybe the other casters made the same joke.
Not really a funny joke at all, though, is it?
Look,
it's not even really a joke.
I'm trying to help you out here.
If I had said 6 of one, half dozen of a baker's dozen of the other.
Well, that's 13, right?
Which would be 6.5.
Yeah. Damn, now we're doing maths. So to note, map number 3 that will be coming up if we get there will be that of Train. Now, we did see NAVI go down earlier in the day against the likes of ENCE on that map. I think there was a few key takeaways that there was lots of saves. Zeus definitely got exploited towards that inner bomb site, but ever since that game, he feels like he's well and truly warmed into this. He's been having a lot of impact. I say that, you know, but Chad, on this game of Mirage right here, it's just a simple show. Yeah, sure it is. But this is the anomaly, actually. When you look at the amount of maps played, he's had impact in all of them. So have the rest of NAVI.
Yeah. It's a good case to make for the final, but I have to say Renegades are looking to shut them down and take, oh God, I was about to say cliche. Take the gust from their sheets. The wind from their sails, I was trying to change it up, man. Okay. Trying to stay away from it, it was really obvious.
Well, cliches are good for a reason.
Gust from their sheets sounds like someone's just farting in bed, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. All they're doing the windmill.
Nice.
So that saved AUG from Electronic is really the only saving grace. As Renegades have the lion's share of their numbers coming through the corridor of middle, 4 players stacked on the B-bomb site, and Zeus kind of being Test dummy. Test dummy.
Yeah, but look at this. Azza already again.
It's unnecessary in this round. It's still lovely to see, that's for sure, because now they can just pinch onto A, but
Zeus is going to run and die.
It's made noise as well. And now Azza has the rotation cut off already.
So frustrating. Like, you're at a minute in the rounds. There's been no action aside from a bit of utility, and he's already behind you. Like, if I'm Zeus, I'd be a little tilted by this. They're going to get to 13 right now, Renegades. Map 3 is Train. First map was resounding from NAVI, but I don't know how I rate them after this performance. They're a little slow. Jacob pursuing Edward. Only his default pistol, no armor. It's not like there's much in it for them. In fact, more to ruse, but they just want to make sure they get him down, send a message, get a little bit of that kill bonus too.
I think Liaz wanted a 6 kill as well, because he's only sitting there with that many frags to his name. 11 for Gratisfaction, 18 for Azza, 22 for JKS, and now Jacob's taken over the lead with 23 to his name. He's had the most influential round thus far in the second half for the Renegades, that's for sure. On the other side of things, well, Simple as well and truly above the rest, 24 to his name. The next closest is Edward on 13, 10 for Electronic, Flamey on 9, and Zeus only on 8. So it is just a simple show this time round, more or less. Renegades with a quick pace change. I think they're going to go for a fast B split here. We've seen this one once or twice.
Simple was there. That would have worked out so well if there was a flash to accompany it. If Simple had to walk, and because when you're jumping, you can't turn your back.
Yeah.
If he gets blinded when he lands and Jacob just pushes the smoke, that could have been huge. But Gratisfaction gets Edward. That's underpass. Zeus back in the site only has the MP9. And now they don't have to commit to B. They don't have to try and play it with the split, which was the original intention. They can slow things down, and they can exploit middle. In fact, they can even exploit window again.
I have a point that I want to make about chewing gum later, Matt, so we'll bring it up in the freeze time. Because this is very important right here. Flamey, he might have to be the guy that goes for the information play from his position here. He can, oh no, he's being baited for. So Electronic on top of the ticket can actually lure them in, and he's looking towards the jungle position. So even if they do boost up window, Electronic sees caught between two mines there, knowing that is open because they do have two players over towards that B bomb site. They will get the window boost in again. And they are going to go back towards B, but this might come back to haunt them because we can see that there are still two players from NAVI on the site. Zeus is actually forward with the MP9, and Simple is waiting back towards the bench position.
He's on 48 after the first exchange, though.
So Azza has the rotation cut off, but if they get locked down by Zeus and Simple here, then he's not going to be able to get there in time to help.
Zeus seems, his body language, if you will, suggests he wants to peek. Turns around, actually got away with that. The flash, they checked it. Simple's gone. Couldn't manage much in that position and already tagged up. 2-on-2, bomb to be planted, 10 seconds left in the round. If Simple even got one kill, might have been enough. Now it's Renegades looking to try and get map, excuse me, not map point, but round 14. If Electronic has anything to say about it. Flamey's still in this too. High ground and 2 kills for JKS. Incredible first half for him. And what a time to show up in the second with the AK. Oh. He's got Flamey walking in as well. 14-8.
Well, 2v1 situation there, back against the wall. There was no defuse kit in. If it came down to a closer round than that, then, you know, he could have juked the time, but happy to take the jewels. You can see him pre-aiming that angle there over towards Catwalk, so clinical stuff there from JKS. We did mention, and I'll do it again, JKS, the third highest rated player in the tournament. Number 1 and number 2 is Simple and then Electronic, and then coming in with the top 10 is Jacob. So JKS and Jacob are integral, at least in StarSeries Season 7, to the Renegades performance that we've been seeing. It's good that they're showing up right here, because we're getting an exciting game out of this one after what was a whitewash. NAVI wiped the floor with them, made them look silly on their map choice of Inferno, and it's funny that we bounce back and forth, but when you think about that, if you look at the video, go, oh, you know, they lost their own map choices. What are they thinking? It's not like that. These teams have maps that intersect, interlock, cross on over, where they have strengths, they have weaknesses. Pimp on the desk, he was obviously torn between a prediction. And that's what happens when you can see positives and negatives in both sides. You don't know exactly what kind of game style is going to play on out here. So NAVI, they've gone in with a bit of a purchase. They will be able to buy next round being the last round, but the line upgrade of a couple Deagles, CZs, Scout for Simple is still very threatening here. They're not going to allow Renegades to have a freebie by any means.
Nice shot, Flamey. He'll get JKS down. Electronic up close to the smoke. He's, oh, what? Leah's actually team kills due to the damage, so it still works out for them, but it might have been better off had it not still worked that way, because if he was up close, gets the AK, it might have led to a little bit more. Still, though, it's a 3-on-3. Simple on the scout. Zeus on the push. Bomb gets planted before he can capitalize, and now he's stuck between two players. One at CT, one still at default as he tries to go for the fight. Naz is going to clear CT. Now he can turn around. Now Simple has to make a decision. This is map point. Renegades forcing out Train.
And Train's going to be an interesting one because we did see it earlier.
Don't even. Don't even, Simple. Come on. Thank you, Gratisfaction. I can't. There's only so much we can handle.
Oh, I love to see it. So Renegades on Train, I am getting a little bit ahead of myself here. We did notice some things that they were getting exploited against. They're playing, remember that phase game? It feels like a lifetime ago now, but Nico was the only factor that was getting phase rounds on the board versus Renegade's CT side by finding opening picks. Renegade's T side was also a little bit flat. NAVI. Today they had some direct approaches, but not being able to hold on to the inner bomb site was the reason, or at least one of the key factors is them going down to. And so they're still able to win the series. That's why we see them here now in the semi-final. Just keep in mind, hang around, don't go anywhere. There's more Counter-Strike to come. We do have Fnatic versus NRG coming up after the conclusion of this series. Probably still about an hour and a half before we even get there. But right now, Renegades are looking like they are going to take map number 2 here. No AWP for Gratisfaction. They're sticking with the 5-rifle setup. Direct approach towards middle and the aggressive push from Electronic.
Good shot, Gratisfaction, to at least pull back onto Electronic. It was a trade. Simple's backed off window. He's expecting perhaps that they want to go for another boost there because it's worked so well for them in the past. Problem is they've lost the front of the A site, and they're going to have to give that some attention. Oh, goodness, JKS. He may not have the most skills for his team, but he's had some of the most important. All on Simple, all done. Azza closes it, 16-8. Renegades, with an equal task to that which was dealt to them on Inferno, have made this series dead level, and what's left for NAVI.
Lovely little bounce back there. So now, with it all tied